One doesn't need to have a guru. Doesn't need to have. You study from the professors who have the experience. You maybe take guidance from them, one-on-one guidance. Which one will be better? This is where you are making the mistake. Do like this, you will have the proper solution.
Wow.
There is sadhana to be done. There are 4 parts of yoga. There are Panchakoshas. There are Jnana yoga tools, Raj yoga tools, Karma yoga tools, Bhakti yoga tools. So all these things, how will you study yourself? It takes years and years and years to understand something. The Guru makes your journey much shorter and much easier. Your alignment to the Panchakoshas happens faster.
Sort of like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. They're the greatest players,
Yes.
but they had a coach.
So Guru means the andhakar, which is the darkness. Guru means the person who removes that darkness. The darkness in spiritual field is delusion.
To the highest peaks.
To the highest peaks. What beautiful example can be in the Himalayas.
Pranam Swamiji.
How are you?
Blessed.
Excellent.
Swamiji, I have a question. Why should an individual soul have a guru for spiritual knowledge, but also for spiritual liberation? Why must one have a guru?
One doesn't need to have a guru. Doesn't need to have. See, both the paths are possible. You can just do your own sadhana, and how many of the youngsters nowadays, they come and say, we are our own guru. That is right. Nothing wrong with that. But let's take an example. When you go to the university, there are 2 ways of studying. Either you can just purchase the books, sit in your room and study and give the exam and say, I don't need the professors and classes and labs and everything. Whatever is there is in the book. I will just read and I will study. That is possible. The other way is you go and attend the lectures. You study from the professors who have the experience. You maybe take guidance from them, one-on-one guidance. Which one will be better? You tell me.
Going to the class with the professor.
Isn't it? Because there are so many doubts you might have, which you will struggle for days and days to solve yourself. But when you go to the class, it might get solved immediately. Or even if in the class it's a little bit problem, the one-on-one session with the professor, then he will exactly say, okay, this is where you are making the mistake. Do like this, you will have the proper solution.
Wow.
So same thing applies to the spiritual field. See, whether you study for engineering or medicine or psychology or any other creative field, it's no different from the spiritual learnings. There also you have a vast curriculum. There is sadhana to be done. There are 4 parts of yoga. There are Panchakoshas. There are Jnana yoga tools, Raj yoga tools, Karma yoga tools, Bhakti yoga tools. So all these things, how will you study yourself? It takes years and years and years to understand something. The professor here is the guru. He is the one who will help you in your journey, explaining all these concepts, aligning you with the sadhana, aligning your path, solving your problems. If you are stuck somewhere, he is the one who will tell you, this is where you are stuck. Do like this, take a break or do this sadhana and you will come out. That is why the Guru makes your journey much shorter and much easier. Your alignment to the Panchakoshas happens faster. While you yourself struggle, it might take a lot more time. So answer to your question, do you need a Guru? No, you do not need a Guru. But if you have a Guru, the process might be much quicker and much easier than if you struggle yourself. That's the answer.
Wow. And you're right, a guru, a professor acts as a catalyst for you. It's sort of like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. They're the greatest players,
Yes.
but they had a coach, Phil Jackson, to guide them.
Yes,
right.
Exactly.
To lead them to be one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But also, your answer, I like that too, because you mentioned that you don't need one, right? And that's actually very deep, because it's rare to find a Swami saying that, you know. And I do think that the youngsters, you know, are also doing the self-education and that path. But I do agree to some extent that having a teacher or professor acts as a catalyst to even speed up that process a lot more.
Correct.
So what is the meaning of guru?
What is the meaning of guru?
Yes.
Let's see this literal meaning. It's a Sanskrit word. So gu means the andhakar, which is the darkness. Guru means the person who removes that darkness. So the very literal meaning Sanskrit gives is any person who removes the darkness. So for example, in the spiritual field, what is the darkness? The darkness in a spiritual field is delusion. That you are feeling that you are doing some spiritual practice, but actually you might be escaping. You feel that you have left the world and you have come here and you want to do meditation, but you are just sitting and avoiding your daily things and responsibilities. That might be delusion. So that is the spiritual darkness. And how will you know that you are in darkness or you are doing the intense practices? This is when the guru is very important. He is the one who will tell you, look, in the spiritual field, the intensity means you have to work 16 hours a day. If you have left your office job or career, it doesn't mean you can just come and sit and relax like this and say, I'm spiritual. So that darkness has to be removed by somebody from outside. Right. That's a guru. So that's the meaning of the guru. Somebody who acts like your friend, your guide, your mentor, and ultimately removes the darkness in your spiritual journey.
Wow. Bringing you to the light.
Bringing the light to you.
Yeah, bringing the light to you. To the highest peaks.
To the highest peaks. What beautiful example can be in the Himalayas. Look at the Himalayas.
Yeah.
You know, like when you come from the smaller towns and plains to the Himalayas, suddenly your vision changes. Your thoughts reduce and your vision changes, and you see life in a much broader vision, which was missing in the cities, where you were caught in that daily 9 to 5 job and office and this and that. So you were not able to have a broad vision about everything. The Himalayas it has the power to give you a very broad vision. And then you think in a proper, clear way, how they are. Not with the tunnel vision where you are like, how they give an example of a frog in a well. That he is in a well, so he only thinks about the well and the water. But he doesn't know what's happening outside.
Wow.
So same way, our vision becomes broader than that frog when we come to the Himalayas. And we see the world and the objectives of life as peace and holistic living and joy and meditation and raising our potential. So all the broader vision, the peace of the world, that becomes clear.
Wow.
I can guarantee you, somebody who has spent time doing sadhana in the Himalayas can never become violent. He will just lose all the violent tendencies if he stays few years in the Himalayas and does sadhana. It just transforms your inner space. You will have that inner peace and awakened potential, which will not let that violence and that aggressive tendency come to you. This is something needed for all the world leaders. If possible, if we can get some of the world leaders, come and do some meditation in the Himalayas, that will be the best thing for the world peace. Instead of holding these 2-day, 3-day conferences where they talk and then they just go and do the same things, bring them to the Himalayas. Let them have a 1-week meditation retreat and let them go back. And after that, the way they will take decisions, the way they will react, all that will be transformed. It will be very deep and very transformative. I seriously think somebody should, their advisor should tell them to do something like this.
I think that's actually a great revolutionary idea, because that has never been done before, and that's absolutely true. Just being amongst the presence in the mountain ranges, in the silence, right, of centuries and thousands of years of yogis and people meditating over here. I think you're absolutely right. If world leaders come here to discuss world peace, this is the ultimate location, and that's absolutely true. And I think, a lot of world leaders are familiar, and a lot of people in the West too are familiar of the Himalayas and what it entails. But sometimes it's, what is the Himalayas? How does it look? And the lifestyle, people don't know. They just think of like people just meditating, but it's more than that.
It's much more than that.
Yeah, but you're absolutely, I think if world leaders come here, we organize a summit of, I do think you're absolutely right. We could achieve world peace.
Much more. And not even a summit. See, summit is, if we organize, it's beautiful.
Right.
But not even a summit. If they just come individually and spend a week just doing a Himalayan retreat and then they go back, the way they react after that will change. It will become reflective, not reactive.
Wow.
They will transform from reactive to reflective. So getting all of them together for a summit may be too difficult, but getting one by one, like once one leader, once another leader, and then letting them have 1 week of silence in Himalayas, that itself will be a great thing.
Absolutely. That goes back, I had this thought before too. You know how corporations and companies, they have the hierarchies, the CEO, the chief technology officers, the chief financial officer. I always believed and think that companies should have a chief spiritual officer,
Wow.
CSO.
That's such a nice idea. You should do it in your company.
Definitely.
Blessings for that.
Thank you. Radhe Radhe.